He got a lot of hate. People are roasting him for being soft, not as mental health bro as a multimillionaire complaining while kids get bombed in Gaza. This is why becoming wealthy in your 20s is a curse because you become a pussy, right? Because he got a lot of backlash after he talked about this mental health shit that you guys just saw, right? And then I made, this is in response to that. And then I also made another post. Let me find it for y'all. Hold on one sec. I remember I made it here. Bear with me, guys. I'm going through my timeline real quick. I got a lot of shit here. Okay, so boom. Becoming rich. And this got 4 million views, by the way. This probably went one of the most viral of all the responses to his. This took a lot for me to do. Thank you, right? So I go, becoming rich in your 20s as a man is a curse. Being sad or depressed as a multimillionaire in America is some activity. I don't care what anyone says. There's children that are getting blown up in Gaza, starving in Sudan and Yemen, and would kill for an opportunity to switch lives. And we got some soft-ass men in America talking about mental health. Depression isn't real. Stop being a pussy and create real impact, and you won't feel like a useless fuck. So here's the thing, bro. Right? But everything is making sense. He stops streaming, takes a break. Right? Now we know that he was having problems with his chick. Right? He made this video, oh, I'm coming over mental health, whatever. But we know now, more than likely, a component of this mental health instability was probably from his relationship with this chick. Right? And when I made this video, when I made that response and it got 4 million views, I get Kai's message, right message, wrong messenger. And the reason why is, bro, if you're a young man and you're a multimillionaire, nobody's trying to hear none of that bullshit from you, bro. Let's just keep it all the way 1,000. Nobody's trying to hear any of that. No one's trying to hear about your mental health, none of that shit. You are blessed beyond belief, especially when we see all the other stuff going on in the world. For you to be an extremely wealthy multimillionaire in your 20s, nobody's trying to hear that. And I truly believe, too, that if you're a young man and you're wealthy and you're successful, it's one of the worst things that can happen to you. And the reason why I say this is because, okay, it used to be, as a man, for you to become a multimillionaire, you had to have certain things in place, okay? You had to be able to have charisma, charm, work hard, be a people person to a degree, be able to network, be able to maneuver yourself in different environments so you can get in touch with certain people. You had to have a good network of friends or people that you with, right? Like all these things came into play for you to be a millionaire. But with the age of the internet, right, even though the internet is a fantastic invention, let's be honest here. The internet has made a lot of really stupid people rich.
Bombakat!
Okay? We got dumb thoughts like Camilla, whatever the name is, skillless, talentless, multimillionaire, made $20 million in 5 years because she was able to utilize OnlyFans as a virtual stripping pole to make a bunch of money, right? So though the internet is great, it's created a lot of opportunities, it's also created a lot of reach. It is what it is. So it used to be you had to have certain things in place to become a multimillionaire or to be a millionaire in general, right? With the internet, the gatekeeping and the barrier to entry is way lower. So people that otherwise would have never been rich, right, or wealthy or financially secure, had it not been for the internet and streaming or whatever, are now rich, okay? And that prerequisite skill set or mindset or experience is no longer needed to make that kind of money. And the thing is that for you to be able to have that prerequisite skill set, it makes you strong, chat. That's the key. You had to endure a lot and go through a lot to get to that money and that success. So it made you stronger in the process, okay? I'll give you guys an example. You go to the gym, you train, okay? You go super hard. You go consistently. What's one of the first things that's going to happen to you? Your hands are going to start to get calloused, right? However, as you go to the gym consistently and your hands get calloused, they're going to get rougher, they're going to adapt, they're going to acclimate to the way you lift weights, you're going to start getting ridges, etc. So after a month, your hands might hurt. After a year, it hurts less. After 2 years, the calluses are built in, you're good to go, right? That's precisely what becoming wealthy used to be. You built up certain calluses so that you wouldn't feel You wouldn't feel pain when you lift a certain weight because you kind of built your way up there incrementally. What the internet has effectively done is it got you lifting 315 on the bar, but you never got the calluses. Does that make sense? On your hands. So it's really painful to hold the bar in place sometimes. And this analogy that I'm trying to describe to you guys is to let you guys know that when you remove the barrier to entry, what you also do is remove certain experiences and certain mindsets that need to be adapted to earn that kind of money, which is critical for you to maintain that money long term. Does that make sense? Okay? That's why a lot of these rich, young, famous people have mental issue problems. Okay? They're depressed. They're sad, despite the fact that they make $10, $20 million a year. Because they never had to grind, right, from a young age and understand what being down really is. Being down is not feeling sad while being a multimillionaire. Being down is trying to figure out how you're going to make money. Being down is looking at your brothers and sisters and be like, damn, they're hungry. We need to get some food. Being down is having real poverty where you open up your, cereal box and you see roaches in it. I vividly remember as a child living in New York City, like 8, 7, 9 years old. I used to eat this cereal. It was called Kix, right? Orange box. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't even know if they sell that shit anymore, right? I vividly remember that I would open that cereal box or Captain Crunch, and I would see roaches in the bag. And if I saw a roach in there or a dead roach in there, I would be like, damn, I can't eat the cereal no more, right? I remember that. Stuff like that sticks with you. But guess what? It makes it now where I'm not complaining about, anything. Because I'll tell y'all this right now. Waking up in the morning and being like, damn, let me go ahead and, have some cereal. You pull out that cereal thinking, oh yeah, it's about to be lit. You pull out you pull out the bag real quick, make sure there's no roaches there. You see a fucking 3 of them in there. Boom, boom. Day ruined. Now you got to watch cartoons with no cereal. I remember that. I remember back in 2005, I went to Egypt with my parents. They wanted to teach me a lesson because my grades weren't so good my sophomore year of high school. Sent my ass to Egypt. I was there. Poorest in Cairo. Power cutting off and shit like that. Dusty roads everywhere. I remember that shit. Sucked. Absolutely sucked. I remember going to Sudan as a kid in 1995 when Omar Bashir was still running the country. I saw what real poverty is. I'll never forget. When I went to Egypt in 2005 and came back, I kissed the floor at JFK. That changed me forever. Okay? That changed me forever. In my 20s, I was a Division I athlete. While everyone was partying, I was training, delayed gratification, had to wake up every morning at 5, train. I was still doing bodybuilding on the side. I was working for ICE as an intern. Hell, I even had a little part-time job at Abercrombie & Fitch. Right? And I remember what it's like to be broke. Have like a couple $100 in your account and be like, damn, I can't spend this. If I do, I'm cooked. Right? And then you're on your last like 50, 20 bucks. I remember that shit. Now, why is this all important? This is all extremely important because now I'm in a position to appreciate what the I got. I've experienced the downs. Right? So now I'm able to appreciate the up. And the other beauty here is that since I've experienced the down and I could talk about it openly with a lot of you guys, I'm trying to keep you guys from experiencing the same downs I did. What did Jay-Z famously say back in the day? Hope went through that so you don't have to go through that. You guys remember that shit? Hope went through that so you don't have to go through that. That's precisely why I do the show the way that I do. And I give you guys a lot of my experiences that I had when I was in my younger years. So you guys don't make some of the same mistakes that I had. Or let's say you are making some of those mistakes. You can relate to me because I can explain to you. I've been there. I know how to, how we can overcome this. But the problem is that these young have never dealt with a lot of this shit. It was all highs, all money, all rich. Well, if you never experience the down, you're not going to appreciate the highs. So that's why when I was saying CENAT is really in no position to talk about mental health or any of this shit, the reason why I say that is because I don't want to hear nothing from a multimillionaire in their 20s, bro. Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. No one's trying to hear that, dude. Because no matter what you do or what you say, it's going to come off as you're entitled, or you're being a bitch and you're soft. That's the truth. And that's why he's getting criticized so much. But now we got the full story. Now we know that a large component of him probably being depressed was this dumb right here. Right? His let me see if I can go back here to, and I showed you guys the Dean Withers clip because Dean Withers is also a young dude, right? And he's over here talking about, you know, I got my anxiety pen, whatever. Like, bro, these young guys are bitches, man. If I'm going to be very honest, a lot of these young guys are bitches. Dudes are making tens of thousands of dollars a month, $100,000 a month plus. A lot of these influencers in their 20s, and are talking about, I got an anxiety pen. Oh, I got to focus on my mental health, whatever. What? You talk shit to you on the internet, and that makes you sad? Get the f out of here, bro. That was your age storming the beaches of Normandy. Oh, bro, it's an onslaught in my chat. They're talking shit to me. Oh my God. Oh, try storming a beach with a bunch of Germans shooting at you. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Dudes your age used to be in war, trench warfare. Now these are crying about chat warfare. Get the f out of here, man. Like, don't got no perspective at all. Now that we've described how, you know, a lot of these streamers are just pussies that are in their 20s talking about mental health, whatever. Let's talk about this bitch, right? Let me find this girl real quick. Because I told you about this bitch, what, a year ago plus, if I'm not mistaken? Wasn't I the first one to call it out that this chick was going to be on some bullshit? So this girl, because I remember we looked at her socials before. If somebody could pull up the clip for me, that'd be awesome. Let me look at, because this girl's a fucking no-name, bro. Nobody knew who this bitch was before this shit. Hold on. Twitch streamer CENAT announced Friday single and vows to never date again, posting a nostalgic photos from a Dallas Maverick game with his ex-TikTok star Gabriel Gigi Alaya. Right, bro? Nobody knew who this was, bro. Let's see if we can find her YouTube channel. Because I remember calling this shit out before with this chick. Does she even post anything? Female YouTubers be trash, bro. Yeah, she posts like maybe once or twice a week. Okay. Typical vlog shit. Okay. So rumors swirl that Gigi cheated with rapper NBA Youngboy, amplified by DJ Academics, but she's fired back on Instagram stories denying it all, saying she ended things. Lil TJ's earlier stream warning about checking her phone resurfaced, splitting opinions online as no solid proof backs the claims. Okay, look. Whether she cheated or not isn't really relevant to the story. I'm not even going to go down that road with whether her cheating or whatever. I'm going to go down the road of this is why you don't fuck with girls that are influencers. Okay, you can't deal with women that are in show business. Okay, and let me explain this. Oh, let me put the timer up too. It's got 42 minutes until we go to OSS to cover all the other shit. We still got to cover. We're going to cover the fraud in Minnesota. We're going to cover a clavicular self-defense case. I got some videos here that we're going to go through. So we got a banger show for tonight. So make sure you guys jump on OSS, use the code LYouTube. Anyway, so let's talk about this real quick. So I've told you guys before that some of the worst women to get with are women in the entertainment industry, right? And the reason for that is because women that are into social media, TikTok, YouTube, any of this other shit, right? They have to constantly be on the net, right? And they have to like network and meet people and make shit happen, collaborations, whatever. The problem with this is that the nature of her work is going to put her in positions that are not advantageous to the success of your relationship. All right, I'm going to say that again. Because some of you guys might be watching right now and you guys are like, oh, well, Myron, that doesn't affect me. No, it might affect you more than you think. When young people were polled, the number one job that young people wanted, which is way different than my generation, is a lot of you young guys and young girls want to be influencers. So some of you guys watching right now, 21, 22, etc., your girl might have a TikTok, she might have an Instagram, she might have one of these accounts or whatever. She might want to become an influencer or is trying to become one, maybe whether it's unbeknownst to you or whatever. So this is very important that you guys understand this because a lot of young women want to become influencers, a lot of them, okay? Sometimes for the wrong reasons. Well, mostly for the wrong reasons. They see all these chicks making money on OnlyFans, whatever. They, oh, I can do that too. I'm cuter than Sophie Ray, and she's stupid. I can do it too. Right? Next thing you know, they're selling their butt for $2.99, bro. You know? Apple Pay type shit. But anyway. For women to really make it in show business, whether it's social media, music, any of this other shit, they're going to have to put themselves in rooms with certain individuals, okay? And a lot of the times, these individuals are men that see an opportunity with a girl that's trying to make it. Now, does this mean that they're going to, every single dude that is in the industry or whatever is going to try to hit on a girl? No, but there's other niggas that are going to be around that might try, okay? So, in order for a woman to grow her social media career, she's going to have to network and be around individuals a lot of the times that are not going to benefit your relationship. It's only going to hurt it. There's no good that can come from it. Right? And the other thing you need to know is if you're a famous dude, right, and you bring in a girl like this that's relatively obscure that no one knows, what's going to happen is she's going to become famous. And she's going to get really famous. What ends up happening is she's down here, you're up here, you're bringing her almost up to your level. So now she has access to people she would have otherwise never had access to because of you, right? And again, this can create a lot of problems. Now, here's the other issue. This dude guy's in his 20s, right? What do I tell y'all all the time? Hey, don't get married or really start taking women seriously until you're in your 30s at least. You got to have a certain lay count. You got to have some money put away. You got to have some experience. The reason why I tell y'all this is because modern women in their 20s have a lot of game nowadays. Why? Well, the reason why they have so much game, and I talk about this in my book, Why Women Deserve Less Over Here, is by the time a woman is in her early 20s, guys, she's been hit on thousands of times. If you add in the internet, right, and social media, Instagram, TikTok, etc., we're talking about tens of thousands of times. And what happens when people hit on you that much or try to talk to you that often? Guess what happens? You become really good at identifying losers versus winners, deflecting, and judoing. You basically become a black belt in keeping losers away, right? And then some women get so good at this where not only are they able to learn how to repel certain men and keep them away, they figure out how to use those men in a way that's advantageous to them only, but not the man. This, my friends, is what I call the friend zone. Women get hit on so much, they develop a skill set to get some others to give them value while they don't give any value back. In other words, this is going to be my Uber guy. This guy's going to be my food guy. This guy's going to be my friend that I can tell my problems to, and he's going to be the emotional tampon. And these idiots will gladly do it. Why? Because men don't get the same level of attention from the opposite gender as women do. You can take a 21-year-old woman, you take a 21-year-old man, right? That 21-year-old woman is going to have tens of thousands of interactions with men between real life and the internet. That 21-year-old guy might have two. Okay? That might have two. Now, let me ask you guys a simple question. Who's going to be a better boxer? The boxer that spars every single day and fights southpaws, orthodox, etc.? Or the boxer who's only had 2 spars in his life? I think we know the answer to that. The boxer that spars every day, aka the woman, is going to be far more effective and skilled than the individual that doesn't spar. This is where men have the disadvantage. Since women get far more experience with the opposite gender, they become a lot better at identifying higher status individuals from opposite gender or lower status individuals. Men don't. Okay? This is why she was able to come in, get in the relationship, get what she needed, get the f out. Meanwhile, he's sitting there talking about mental health and, oh man, this sucks and all this other shit, because she was able to quickly where he stands, get her value, get the f out. He wasn't able to keep up. Why? Because men don't have the same level of interaction from the opposite gender. In other words, women are black belts and dudes are white belts most of the time, okay? So she comes in, Uno reverses, judo this, doing that, throwing this around, blah, blah, blah. You don't even know what's happening. He's on a mat dizzy like, oh, shit. She's going like this, walking out the dojo. Gone. To the next one. You don't even know what happened. He thinks this is mental health, this is why he's sad. No. She came in and used you, and you don't even know it. She already out the dojo to the next one. And this is